Okay folks, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey and today we're going to do something really fun. I am not going to be working where this video is, but I thought this would be a good lead up. I'll swing you around to a project that's been kind of neglected. I won't go into it for the 100th time of answering that on my video. I am a little bit behind actually. And we're going to work in this little bare spot right here. You can see above I have a wonderful flush of honeysuckle up there. However, it has started to really thin out towards the bottom. It's very happy towards the top. That's where the sun gets. Right here where this side is the west side, so it gets the evening sun, and that's where we're at. We're in the evening. It's about 6 o'clock here. And to the left here, I have brought you a couple projects. One was last season. I brought you this little water fountain right here. It's turned off so that the video doesn't pick up that noise, and we'll turn it back on here shortly. But of course, if that was the west, that side is the east. That morning sun does not get in here, and so that's really thinned out back here. Got a nice flush of heuchera down here, and then if I back up a bit, I've got the pachysandra through here. So of course I've got to figure out something to cover up this little eyesore here. We've got those planters sitting in the back. Last year they turned out wonderful. That was my first year having them. I filled them up with soil. I think I was going to bring you guys a project, then it rained really bad, so I just kind of shut that down. So we're going to do all this in one little project, but I've got something fun that we're going to build up right here in this little space and make it a wonderful little unit. It's something that I kind of been sleeping on a little bit because it is a bit whimsical, but I didn't know how to grab the height, and because I don't get that morning sun or any sun particularly in there because I am below all these trees, I had to come up with something different. So come along, let's see how we turn this little area into something fun, a little whimsical, actually a whole lot whimsical. So let's get our hands dirty. Does that look about centered where you're at?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay guys, let's just start right here. I think this would be a fun spot to kind of lead up to that. Those of you who would know, my back is to the house and the back porch, but I want to lead into that space to kind of and draw your imagination to where we're headed. I think that area turned out quite well. It might not be for everyone. In fact, it might be too theatrical, is that the word? For some of you guys, and I get it, that's okay. But I just took material that was laying around the garage, through shed, around the garden, stuff I had tucked away, and I just kept seeing all these different items and from old projects, and I was like, what can we do differently back in that garden space where that vine was dying, and I just had those planters down there, and I thought, let's come up with something fun, something different. Everyone's garden is different, right? It's it speaks to yourself, and that's the way I'm kind of leading up to. I just want this garden to be just a little bit different, or a whole lot different than the norm garden. There's nothing wrong with the norm garden. That's how I got to this part of my gardening career of the last few years, was by looking at other people's gardens and then just drawing inspiration and some of the other things. But look how much fun this little piece is. I will plant up those planters soon. I know I told you in the beginning of the video that I would probably have those done. That didn't happen. I did get sick for about a week, and I'm never sick, and it knocked me off my feet. And I made the video, but you could not understand my voice. It was that bad. So not to feel sorry for myself, but I pumped back into it and I'm ready to go. So full speed ahead. We'll come in here. I need to get some water on these things. Like I said, I've been out a bit, but what a lot of fun this turned out to be. If you're asking where I drew the inspiration, I don't know. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, I picked up the idea. I like old, I like rust, and then I like mystical. So some of the ideas, like that door right there, kind of reminded me of a Hobbit door, and that purple kind of bled off. I like New Orleans and Louisiana and those colors, so that's how that purple and yellow came in there. That sun was an afterthought. That will be one of the questions that I'm asking, if you would like to participate and pop up any kind of ideas. But I'm curious. That handle turned out really cute, but what do you think? Should we pull that sun off of there or keep it on? We'll see what you guys think, but my wife really likes it. That just happened to be by chance. It was just laying around. I put that door up and I was like, hey, these purple and yellow, you know, that's one of my favorite color blends, and she absolutely loved it. So who knows, Mama might win after all. Don't know, no right or wrong, but I think it turned out really well. As far as this little flower collage right here, where I just threw a bunch of stuff in there. I don't think collage is the right word, but anyway, I threw all this stuff in here from other projects, and I thought, man, this does the trick. I just don't want it, because I haven't planted up this other area over here, these planters yet, which I kind of promised in the beginning of the video, and I just didn't get to, because I actually want these pots to tie in to this space and not just be filled with flowers. I've got to come up with something else to incorporate to make it look like it's part of this, and whatever this is. I don't want it to look like a temple or something where there's just a bunch of flowers in front of a round whatever. Maybe it don't look like a door, maybe it just looks like a circle on a piece of metal, who knows. But I apologize for the noise in the background. It sounds like they're having a little gathering, so hopefully that doesn't pick up too much in the video. If so, I do apologize. Now, all these heuchera and ferns, I think, just turned out really well, and these are all perennials for Zone 6A, and they'll come up next year really strong, and really just kind of fill in the space as they continue to grow. How about this little door handle? Oh my gosh, There's something about old and rust, as I told you, and I just absolutely love it. You see the little speck of paint there on the top right hand corner. Someone painted that for the very last time, and it ended up in a garage sale or a estate sale, something, and then lo and behold, it ends up in my garden. So again, with all the tricycles and different pieces of metal, I just love to incorporate those into the garden. And I kind of knew last year that I would be doing something really whimsical or different right here, because I really needed this space when you come around the bend, whichever way you're coming, to just kind of draw you in. Otherwise, I've just got that vine back there and it just looked really poor because it wasn't getting enough sunlight for the bottom like 3 or 4 feet. And so yes, this is a dramatic jump, but I think it turned out great. And again, I don't want it to just be lost in the shuffle that it just looks like some little temple. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a lot of fun. And I think as I start to incorporate other things around the garden, get those planters planted up, I think we can really capitalize and make this look really good. You see me dig in and put the Solomon seal there. That Solomon seal actually is from Memphis, Tennessee. I went to a botanical garden there for the first time, and of course, if you're anything like me, you can't leave without picking up something to add to the garden. Well, of course, I did that. And so again, I'm about a week old from when I planted this, and so I need to get water on it. So before you type, you need to get some water on it. I do know that. And then here in the background, I won't leave that for long. I just gotta come up with some other things to incorporate there. Again, this garden is supposed to be different, and because I don't have the knowledge and the tenure in the gardening mind to be able to speak the language and share with you guys the knowledge, I suppose, or be able to talk about plants at a drop of a hat and know everything about them. And I have to come up with something else to it and encourage you to like this video, or at least watch me for just a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to come up with different ways to inspire you and let you know that whether you're a novelist or you're just brand new at this, anybody can grab a shovel and start planting. Just do your research, because that's how I got into this. But I can't go back any further because I do have that project that's right behind me that I've promised will be coming out soon. And then I threw in these little gazing balls through here. They're pretty thick, pretty heavy duty, but look at that. Isn't that a lot of fun? Just go through there, someone parked their bike, maybe that little character that's living behind that door, who knows. And that's kind of how this garden's doing. And that's, hopefully I'm getting you to come back to this channel. And if you're brand new, hopefully you're coming back to this channel because you just don't know what to expect when this pops up along your screen. And hopefully that every time this pops up, there's a mystery to yourself. You're like, what is this guy up to? And then two, I want it to be a smile. I want you to associate this channel and this garden with a smile and a bit of mystery. So if you recall, I put in this little fountain right here. Of course, I've got it off right now because this camera will pick up that noise pretty darn well, but you can kind of start to put the puzzle pieces together, right? There's a little water piece there, and so there's a source of water for whatever's behind that door, and then there's a couple tricycles and bikes and somebody, you know, whatever you want to do, whatever the imagination is when you're watching this, maybe there's somebody who uses those 3 stones as a step into there. And that's kind of what we're drawing. That's kind of what I'm drawing in my head. And when I have grandkids or when little kids come to the garden, hopefully I can inspire some of them to kind of pique their interest and go for different things that could you know, brighten their day and make them happy, knowing that an adult is willing to do this crazy thing, then it's okay for them to do it too. And feel free that whether they got judged for it or not, it made them happy. So so let's talk about this frame a little bit. You've seen where my wife and I put this in, and it was a little flimsy, and you're probably wondering, Mike, that's going to blow over. Well, off camera, I didn't want to bore you with all the details, but off camera, once I got it set up, it was very easy to disassemble, set off to the side, and then get the ground set up, get the posts dug in, get the concrete set, and then go in and build the frame for the ceiling or for the roof right there, so it's really tied in so it can hunker down whenever we have windstorms. Midwest here we get some late winter, early spring windstorms that would knock you off your feet, and so I don't need this to be in my neighbor's yard. You know, the first chance it gets, Mother Nature gets to grab it. Okay, so around this door here, around that door, the perimeter of it, I'm gonna do some researching in my head. I've got to come up with something, but I really want to frame it in a way that makes it look like a door, and it's not just a piece of art sitting on that galvanized steel. So like I talked about, all this is repurposed things. Let's see, so if you remember years ago, this was part of the koi pond frame that I had back there in the garden. This piece of wood right here was part of the gazebo, and you see me light a torch and do that. That was my wife's idea. And see, so she would tell you that she doesn't have as much imagination, of course, the lawnmower in the background, but she would tell you her imagination is not very high. She tells me she's very dull, and I tell her no, don't think that way, but she actually came up with that, and so I think that turned out well. The galvanized steel on top, the roofing, that was little pieces of different parts of the garden, and anytime I'm out and get an opportunity to make a purchase of steel or old rusty wood or anything like that, rusty wood, nope, old wood that's worn, whatever. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I will bring it home, and my wife will tell me, do you really think you're going to use that? And then as they say, hold my beer, because I will eventually put that to use, as you can see. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Again, I'm gonna trim that board out, or that door out, and make it look more like a door. Hopefully it doesn't come across as a temple of some kind to whatever your imagination might be, but I really love how these plants just really illuminate that entrance right there. And of course that door don't work, it's just stationary, but these little stones give it just an added piece, right? It makes it look like, you know, somebody's actually using that door. And then that wonderful little door handle, I think it's great. So I picked up 2 door handles at a sale, and so the project I'm working on behind me will have a similar door handle. So that kind of gives you some idea of what's going on. I'm ready just to release that video. I'm just putting things together, but I'm ready just to release it so I can be done, and I can put it on my Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, this should be going up here pretty quick, and the Instagram channel is growing, so feel free to follow me at Moxie Gardens, Moxie_Gardens. It takes a while to grow that Instagram channels, but it's starting to peak a little bit, so I'm starting to get a couple followers, so I appreciate you guys there. But I'll just pop up some of these different things that we've got going here in the garden. But you can see all that wonderful color down here. Just makes me happy just knowing that it just kind of caps it off. It's like you know, when you used to color and then you would frame it out with a bright color, normally black or a dark red, frame out whatever it was you're coloring, and then it kind of pulls it all together. I think that's what this does, if that makes sense. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Feel free to tell me what you're thinking. Should we keep the sun, ditch the sun? What's this doing for your mind when you're watching this video? So yeah, we'll talk to you guys on the flip side. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.